Hey lads, welcome to Alien Isolations Explained. In this video we'll be going through a plot analysis. Enjoy. In 2137, Weyland-Yutani technician Amanda Ripley, the daughter of Ellen Ripley, is approached by the Weyland-Yutani synthetic Christopher Samuels, who informs her that the flight recorder unit of the Nostromo, the ship her mother worked on before it disappeared, has been located and is being held aboard Sevastopol Station, a remote free spaceport station owned by the Sevastopol Corporation in orbit around the gas giant KG-348. Samuels offers to allow Amanda to be part of the Weyland-Yutani team sent to retrieve it, so that she can have closure regarding the fate of her missing mother. Ripley, Samuels, and Weyland-Yutani lawyer Nina Taylor travel to Sevastopol on board the cargo ship Torrens, owned by Captain Diane Verlaine. The group arrive at Sevastopol to find the station damaged and communications dead. Ripley, Samuels, and Taylor attempt a spacewalk over to the station to investigate, but their EVA line is severed by debris from an explosion, and Ripley is separated from Samuels and Taylor. Ripley enters the station via an airlock and finds a complete breakdown of civil society, with the station's inhabitants reduced to small groups of frightened, paranoid looters, hoarding scavenged resources and shooting non-group members on sight. She is briefly held hostage by Axel, but convinces him to help her in exchange for a ride off the station aboard the Torrens. Axel explains the current situation is due to a monster loose aboard the station. The two escape and evade a group of hostile survivors, but Axel is killed by an alien who stabs him with its tail and drags him into a vent, scaring Ripley, who leaves the area on Sevastopol's transit system. After encountering more hostile survivors, Ripley finds the flight recorder, but discovers that it contains no data. After acquiring a modified motion tracker, Ripley watches as synthetic kill Hughes, a human survivor. Ripley manages to evade the now hostile synthetics and contacts Samuels, who tells her that Taylor was injured. After joining them in person, Ripley goes to retrieve medical supplies from the San Cristobal medical facility to treat Taylor. In San Cristobal, Ripley encounters Dr. Kuhlman, who helps Ripley locate the supplies via the intercom, but he is then killed by the alien. Upon returning to Samuels and Taylor with the medical supplies, the group is joined by Colonel Marshal Waits and his deputy, Ricardo. Waits explains that the alien was brought on board the station by Marlowe, the captain of the salvage vessel Anesidora, the ship that found the Nostromo flight recorder. Ripley speaks with Marlowe, who is kept in a cell by Waits, and learns that the Anesidora crew discovered the derelict on LV-426 by following the Nostromo's flight route, and Marlowe's wife, Foster, was impregnated by a facehugger in the ship's cargo hold. Marlowe brought her aboard Sevastopol for treatment, and the alien hatched from her and began to wreak havoc on board. Waits convinces Ripley to help him contain the alien by luring it to the Gemini Exoplanet Solutions model, a remote section of the station, then sealing it inside. However, once the alien is contained, Waits ejects the module from the station with Ripley still inside. She manages to find an EVA suit and eject herself from the module and gets back to Sevastopol, while the alien is left behind in the jettison module as it falls into KG-348. With the alien disposed of, the situation aboard the station appears back under control, but the station's androids abruptly begin hunting down and killing the station's human inhabitants, including Waits and his remaining men, though Ricardo survives. Samuels attempts to interfere with the station's controlling artificial intelligence, Apollo, and get it to stop the slaughter. Despite Ripley's attempts to save him, Apollo's defense countermeasures end up killing Samuels, but not before he opens a path for Riley to Apollo's control chamber. Upon reaching the control chamber, Ripley discovers that Sevastopol was recently purchased by Weyland-Yutani, who, by Special Order 939, instructed Apollo to protect the alien at all costs so the company could acquire it, even if it meant killing the station's crew. Ripley demands to know why Apollo is continuing to carry out this directive even though the alien is no longer aboard the ship. Apollo directs her to the station's reactor core, where Ripley discovers a nest with multiple aliens, facehuggers, and eggs. Ripley initiates a reactor purge to destroy the nest, but multiple aliens manage to escape into the station. Ripley learns from Ricardo that Taylor was sent by Weyland-Yutani to receive the alien, and that she freed Marlowe in exchange for the location of LV-426. However, Marlowe took her hostage and fled to his ship. Ripley uses an ambulance shuttle to pursue them in hopes of using the Anesidora to escape the station. Marlowe shows Ripley the data from the Nostromo flight recorder, which includes a message for her from her mother regarding her motives for destroying the ship. Marlowe reveals that he's attempting to detonate the Anesidora fusion reactor to destroy the station and his ship, ensuring the aliens do not come into contact with the rest of humanity. Taylor hits Marlowe with a wrench while he is arguing with Ripley, and both work together to try to prevent the reactor explosion. They are only partially successful, however, with Taylor being killed in an electrical overload and Ripley barely escaping as the ship explodes. While the explosion does not destroy Sevastopol, it damages the station's gravity stabilizers, causing it to begin falling into KG-348's atmosphere. Ripley and Ricardo realign Sevastopol's antenna to contact the Torrens for evacuation, but Ricardo is attacked and subdued by a facehugger. Ripley starts to don an Eva suit, preparing to release the clamps securing the Torrens to Sevastopol, but gets captured and cocooned by an alien. She escapes, dons an Eva suit, and releases the clamps just as Sevastopol is destroyed. Aboard the ship, Ripley abruptly loses contact with Verlaine, and subsequently discovers an alien has boarded the ship as well, cornering her in the airlock. Still in her Eva suit, Ripley hits a button to open the airlock, jettisoning both herself and the alien into space. The game ends with Ripley adrift in space, waking up to the light of a vessel approaching her.